Hello everyone. So what I'm going to start going over is how our backend is set up. So just to kind of touch base on what we actually have going on here. What we are using for backend is we are running a Spring application. This is an application we had developed and created our respective API calls in order to perform different functions and return process information from our database, which we have set up. The database we are using is MySQL 5.7, which can be seen here. I just did select all, that way you can see the different data values that we currently have stored in this table. And I'll go back and forth between these screens just to kind of illustrate what is actually going on when you do make a REST call on this application. All right, to get started, what I'm using to perform these requests, just to purely for a demonstration in this sense, is I'm using the advanced REST client application, and all I'm doing is creating our JSON request body that is getting sent to our server. So let's just start running these. As you can see, if you pass in a valid username, valid password, what you are getting returned is the username, password entered, and then if it was valid credentials for our database with what we have stored. In this case, this is true. So let me just go ahead and change it to something I know is not in the database. And you will see that it returns false. Okay. Next thing I want to go over is our home page. So for the home page request, we are simply sending a longitude latitude point. This is essentially just your center point from your Android application that is sending to the REST server. What this will do on the back end is it is going to make the appropriate call and essentially take these longitude latitude points, query everything in our table within a 5-mile radius, and see it'll take the average temp, average wind speed, cloud cover, and it'll also take notes. Now the cloud cover and notes field is just essentially pulling a random comment that someone has made within 5 miles. It is not an average, obviously, but the average temp and average wind speed, that is taking all the points or submitted information from other users that are within this 5-mile radius. So next thing we might as well go over is the submission form. This is how you would construct your submission body to the REST server. You're going to be passing it your username, the longitude, latitude coordinates of yourself, the time the message was sent, the date sent, the temperature, wind speed, clouds, and notes. And when you are doing this, this is simply just getting added to our database. So you're just seeing that it was created here. Just to make sure, let me just go ahead and add, we'll just say user 2, and we'll make this 80. And I would just like to show you on our back end that this is actually being put into our tables. So if I go here, select info, hit enter, we should be able to get some tables pull up. 1 second. And as you can see here, this was our last entry that we had just submitted to our REST server. The next thing I would like to go over is our search function for this in our Android application, which will be described later on in this video. When you are searching for users that you would wish to follow, so let's say you are liking the posts that other people are saying, or someone's a little more accurate with their posts than others, you can follow those people. And how you would do that is you would start by searching their username. So as you were typing this in, this is getting sent to our REST server for searching available options with what the parameter you are typing in. So if we search user, currently there are 3 different users that fit that description. Essentially what this is doing is we are taking what you are typing in and doing a comparison to the users in our database on whether or not the text is contained in those usernames. Another thing I would like to go over is our add follower function. So this is when you would actually like to add someone as a follower. So what you pass here is your username and the friend name, which is the person you would like to follow. When doing this, you will get a creation, and we can also see this in our MySQL table as well. I just need to get over to the correct table. And as you see here, user 1 is now a follower of user 3. So going back to the REST calls. So we've gone over search, we've gone over add follower. Let's see what followers we do have. To see this, you would just simply pass your username. And when you do this, the REST call is being handled by going through the return values from our database for that user, and it's iterating through those and actually extracting the information that the people you are following have posted. So this is the extracted information of the other users and what they have posted that you follow. In this case, it's just user 1, and he has 2 posts. The last thing we will go over is our map. Now, map is pretty interesting. How we are formatting this is we're just passing the top longitude, the bottom longitude, left latitude, and the right latitude of the position of that map that you are in the current view of context. So when you send these to our database, it is going to return you a bunch of GeoJSON structured values. And what these are just the actual posts that people have posted that are within the view of your current field of the map. You will see this demonstrated on the front end portion of this video, but that will be later on. I believe that is the essential functionality of our application. As I said, we are using MySQL 5.7, and we do have, let's see, 7 different REST calls which we have developed for this application.